The Marine City Commission meeting is called to order on Thursday, April 17th, 2025 at 7 o'clock p.m. Please have a moment of silence to send our positive thoughts and prayers to those in our community that need our support. And now please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Bryson. Commissioner Hendrick.
Here.
Commissioner Clausen.
Here.
Commissioner May.
Here.
Commissioner O'Brien. Commissioner Rohrig.
Here.
Mayor Vandenbosch.
Here.
City Manager Reeves.
Here.
And can I have a motion to excuse Commissioner Bryson, and Commissioner O'Brien is just running late this evening.
So moved. Support.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, approve of the agenda. Can I have a motion to approve the agenda? However, I'd like to do one amendment. I'd like to table 5A, the professional municipal clerk's proclamation. Deputy Clerk Carol Brown is not able to make it this evening. We still have one more meeting before that week for the proclamation, so I'd like to table that to the next meeting so she can be in attendance.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as amended. Support.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Then we'll be on 5, the Marine City Blight Task Force presentation.
Pardon me. Good evening, everyone. I want to thank everybody for their time this evening. My name is Dan Moore, and my wife and I, Kathleen, have moved to the city about 2.5 years ago from Nashville. And we're originally from Michigan, but we're back in the area, and we love the little city, and we walk almost daily. And I recently met with the city manager. He was kind enough to take some time. And we talked about a few things in the city, and one of the things that we talked about was blight and maybe looking at a program to help residents with this issue. So I started a little task force just a couple weeks ago, so it's brand new. I don't know where it's going to go. But the premise is I'm going to get a group of volunteers, and with the city working in conjunction, and we'll work that out as we go. We'll just help residents. We'll just volunteer. If we get a group of 5, 6, maybe 7, 8 people, a lot of hands make light work. And the objective is just to volunteer and help people out who need help, whether it's picking up, light yard work, mainly things around the exterior, no interior work. But that's the premise of it, and I'll report as we go. But a city manager was kind enough, again, as I said, to listen to my pitch. So right now I'm sort of in the recruitment phase of the program. I've talked to the Council on Aging. I've reached out to the high school, and I've talked to the probation officer about getting some assistance as well. So every week I make a little more progress, and I'm out there door knocking right now. So if anybody has any questions, I'll certainly answer anything that I can at this juncture.
No, but I'd like to say I really thank you for stepping up to try to pull this all together. I know it's difficult, and if there's any chance I can help you,
I appreciate that. And again, we don't know where it's going to go. Yeah. Sometimes programs like this, they get a little traction, and they spur into other positive things. Sometimes they putter out, but at least we're going to try.
Great.
So.
Yeah. Thank you. Very, very good.
So, Mayor, we're going to put a link on our website to the MC Task Team, Neighbors Helping Neighbors. So there'll be a direct connection. So somebody goes to their website, wants to help out, it'll go right to them.
Yep, wonderful.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. See you soon.
Yeah, absolutely.
And now we'll move on to the Clean Water State Revolving Fund Wastewater Treatment Plant Project presentation by F&B.
Thank you. Stephen, my colleague, will be doing most of the presentation. Just for a little background on this, this is the continuation of the intent to apply that was filed in November of 2024 for the IUP with the state of Michigan. We're applying for the Clean Water Revolving Fund for improvements to the city wastewater treatment plant. The intent to apply amount was for $10 million worth of improvements to the wastewater treatment plant. Unfortunately, it looks like we may not score very high based on the condition as well as the scoring criteria from the state. However, the plan is good for 5 years if conditions or orders change from the state of Michigan. That being said, we also don't know where the final demarcation line will be because it's dependent on what cities apply and how well they score as well. Stephen?
Band. No, it's coming up.
It's a new system. This one doesn't jitter anymore, though.
I was gonna say, it's a water presentation, it's not a technical presentation, so that's
Nope.
okay.
6 minutes, 57 seconds.
Guy, give me
But who's
that
counting?
anyway, that's not on me.
I'm just yanking your chain.
Oh, I know.
The band's out playing.
This is
Thought
not
we
gonna
were playing
click over.
Jumanji or something.
Maybe I shouldn't.
That does sound like the drum roll, Jumanji.
Right?
There it is. Okay. So, as they pass on, I'm Stephen Walker with Lisa Vandenbrink. Just going over the highlights of the project plan. So just quick agenda, we'll go through just the project background, so the site history at the treatment plant, some population data and projections, the current and projected wastewater flows, and effluent limits for the plant, so what the plant has to treat, levels, or the levels the plant has to treat to. Go through a quick need for projects, analysis of alternatives, impacts, and then impacts on the users, and different delivery methods, and then finally it's just a discussion QA. So going into some background, the plant was originally constructed in 1955, just a small plant with some clarifier and digesters, which these were some of the original here and here. And then in 1970, they expanded the plant further with the last like real big expansion in 85, where you can see most of the equipment on the site was put into place. So you have their headworks kind of in admin building, clarifiers, biological treatment, and some solids handling equipment, as well as chlorine disinfectant. So throughout the whole, the different projects. They've reused different tanks and repurposed as well, going through and built new. So population, the 2018 master plan was used to estimate the population. The population's not really projected to grow very much in the next 20 years, only projected about a 0.13% rate based on historic population data and census data. The current wastewater flows, they average 1.05 MGD, so that's million gallons a day, with a peak of almost 6 million gallons a day. It's projected to be very, to not increase much due to the population not increasing. So the 2045 design would also reflect that it would not be much flow change. So the effluent limits, currently the plant doesn't have issues with meeting their permit limits. They've got, as you can see on the screen, those different limits. So BOD is oxygen demand. It's kind of just one of the main, filling in the word, sorry, the main metric that they look at, as well as total suspended solids, ammonia, phosphorus, and then fecal coliform within the water. The plant typically has no issues meeting these criteria. So the need for the project, to provide facilities capable of delivering consistent, reliable service, and to continue being in compliance with their permit, to rehabilitate and repair high priority areas, improve the operation, maintenance, and safety at the facility, and provide instrumentation and process control to help maximize treatment performance and minimize energy use, and consider the overall cost to the city's users. So we went through and analyzed 4 alternatives, the first one being no action, so basically doing nothing at the plant. This doesn't meet any of the overall needs of the project. Alternative 2, a regional alternative. So this would be shutting down the plant and sending the wastewater to another municipality. So we looked at East China as a possible option, but this was ruled out due to cost and other regulatory, agreements that would have to be made between the city and the other municipality can be very tricky. So we ruled that out. Optimizing performance of the existing system. The system already is capable of meeting needs, doesn't need to be optimized. And the last one is upgrade the existing treatment. So that's the one we're gonna focus on, is alternate 4, upgrading the existing treatment system. So as I just said, that's what we're gonna do. The main focuses will be improvements to the different buildings throughout to their primary treatment headworks. So that's where they screen and remove grit from the raw wastewater, their secondary treatment, and then their biological treatment. So their biological treatment is currently an oxidation ditch, and then they use clarifiers to remove total suspended solids and get the water more of a clear state for disinfectant. So the preliminary treatment, as shown in the blue, they currently have an influent pump and screening and grit removal with influent sampling. We would plan on upgrading their influent pumps. All the water goes into a wet well, and they have 2 submersible pumps and a screw pump to pump that up to where the screen and the grit removal is. We would plan on replacing the screw pump that is beyond its useful life. It was put in back in the 80s project. The screen is also past its useful life, so we would be replacing that and also making it a finer screen so it can catch a little bit the more finer debris. And then the grit classifier, so the system that's used to settle out grit is in need of repair as well. And then within that building, we'll provide a new gas venting system and monitoring system. In those headworks building, you can get buildup of toxic gases such as hydrogen sulfide or methane, depending on what's going in. Hydrogen sulfide being one of the more prevalent in wastewater plants. So that monitoring system just helps protect the operators, lets them know that there's could be high levels in there, not to go in there. So going into the secondary treatment, we will renovate the existing oxidation ditches. They have some valves in there that do not work, as well as some of the, it operates with brushes that spin on shafts to aerate the sewage and treat it, that are failing. So we're planning on replacing those. The plant itself has already replaced 3 out of the 6, so we would be replacing the other 3. And then, as I said, replacing valves that don't operate, gates and weirs within there. So just allowing for better operation and ease in operation of the plant. Over at the clarifiers here, those also just got replaced recently, the main mechanisms and drives of it, but the weirs and scum baffles of the clarifiers haven't been replaced, so we're calling out to replace those. The scum baffles prevent anything floating in the clarifiers from getting into the final effluent that moves on to the rest of the treatment plant. And then the weirs just help control flow into those as well. And then we're also going to rehab the screw pump that's in their RAS pumping station. So what that RAS pump station does is some of the solids that settle out, they take that back and pump it back into the system to help keep the bacteria and like we call them bugs in the oxidation ditch, keep those up and allows them to better treat the wastewater. So that currently uses 2 submersible pumps and a RAS pump as well, or a screw pump as well. And we're planning on rehabilitating that screw pump as it's past its useful life. And then we'll also add some automation onto those the clarifiers. The water to get to them goes into a splitter box, and for the operators to turn one or the other one on, they have to physically be on site to turn on or to open up the gates. So if it's in the middle of the night, there's a high rain event, someone's got to come in. We're planning on putting on electric actuators so that they can do that automatically, saving on some manpower. For the plant, they won't have to go in to operate those gates, and they can use both clarifiers as needed. And then when flows slow down, they can be raised up automatically and continue to operate on just a single clarifier. Some chemical improvements. They currently use chlorine for disinfectant, and one of their chlorine tanks had a level monitor in it that exploded and contaminated it with mercury. So it cannot be used. It's been cleaned out multiple times, but it's still getting mercury spikes. So we're planning on removing that tank and replacing it. And then, providing it with new chlorines. And then they currently only have 1 chlorine pump, so we're planning on adding a second one for redundancy and then redoing some of the piping in there to make it safer. They currently use liquid sodium hyperchlorite for that. So replacing that piping, putting it in better into carrier piping, so if that piping does burst, it's not squirting chlorine everywhere. It's contained in a pipe. With that too, we will be replacing the roof of the chlorine building. To be able to remove that chlorine tank, you are going to have to take that roof off, part of the roof, to remove that tank and put in a new. So we'll be replacing that, and they've also had issues with that roof in the past as well. So that moves into some building improvements. We're mainly highlighting the admin building. They have some doors that are inoperable. Mainly the main door cannot be opened if it or locked, I believe it is. And the roof there is also leaking, so replacing the roof in that area too. So those are kind of like just a quick overview highlight of the main processes that we're planning on improving for the site. So the costs are projected here. The total project cost is 8.3 million. The intent to apply was 10 million, so we came in at an estimated under that 10, which is okay. We can still go up to that 10, and that would just estimate. And of course, and we can also, you can see the breakdown. The biggest portion of this is the secondary treatment improvements, for cost-wise. Of it. We'll go into now environmental and social impact. This project we project will not have any major environmental impacts. The air quality may be a temporary impact while they're just doing construction. You might have vehicles, things like that, and overall beneficial for lakes and streams as you make the treatment plant more efficient and reliable. But rivers, things like that, during this project will not be majorly impacted. And it's also going to be contained at the treatment plant. So the projected impact on users, which most people, this is the big one for them. This is estimated on a loan principal of 6.5 million. So assuming some grant money, but not all grant money. With an annual payout of about $500,000 for the number of customers to just about 2,600. We're projecting only an increase of about $17 per month for the users. Now, I mean, these are estimates. We're not we can't guarantee more will be worked out once loan closing and as the project moves forward for these, but this is what we're currently projecting. So some delivery methods that are used on this, you have your conventional design bid build, so the engineer will design the project and then the city will bid it out and a general contractor will build it. You got construction management at risk, and then fixed price design build and progressive design build. Personally, Fleece and Vandenbrink likes the progressive design build option, as that one allows the city to work with the engineer throughout the whole design, and then we're also working with contractors too. So everyone kind of gets an input on that, and then during the design, and then during bid as well, or build as well. So just the various different options for these projects. And then that's, the brief overall. Any questions?
Anybody have a question? Okay, I think we're good.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to number 6, public comment. This is a time for public comment. Any member of the public may address the city commission on any topic. Please step to the podium, state your name for the record, and be heard. No commissioner, department head, or city staff will respond. City manager will follow up on the public comments as necessary. Please limit your comments to 5 minutes. Please direct all comments to me as the chairperson. Please refrain from the use of profanity, and please do not direct any comments to other members of the public. And would anybody like to speak? Anybody? Okay.
So my name is Alan Fraley. I'm the current president of Marine City Little League. I know on your agenda later is talking to the lease that we would be signing with the city for the use of the fields that we currently have been using for years. I don't know if I'll be able to stay till then, so I'd just like to speak a little piece beforehand. I wanted to thank the city first off for everything that they've helped our league through the years. Anybody that knows or has been involved, I've been the president for 2 years now, but a member of the league over 10 years. I've had 2 daughters going through it. The help of the city, the DPW, over the years has been immense. Anybody who knows and gets involved knows it's been great, and it keeps building. Last couple of years, it seems like we're making leaps and bounds steps better with the cooperation. Anybody that's seen the post this morning, the fence that was installed at Ward was amazing. That's just the steps that we are continuing to do and grow. When it comes to signing the lease, I know there was going to be a fee attached to it, so my piece would just be that if the city would look at keeping that very minuscule. Currently, we charge roughly around $95 a kid to play, and that does not cover our operating costs for the year. We substantiate that with fundraising, our concessions money, and sponsorships. We all know the economic climate out in the world today. Our goal is always to keep kids playing the sport. That's our #1 goal. We do whatever we can. We try to keep finances as low as we can. League is changing rules as far as boundaries to where now eventually kids are going to be able to go wherever they want. You know, it used to be you live in Marine City, you had to play Marine City. Now they're already making it where you can go where you want. Younger kids, it's only going to escalate further. We get outside pressure. Obviously, we know St. Clair right down the road. It's close enough to where people want. So we lowered our costs even for the young kids this year to try and keep kids playing. So, you know, over the years, the league and the city have always continued to work good together, back and forth. I know, like, the league spent the money and put the bathrooms in at King Road. When we had the vandalism a couple years back, the city stepped up to help fix that. I feel like the back and forth has been great. I just hope that the fee when discussed can be kept. If it's just a formality and good, any more money that we have to spend, you know, baseballs went from $30 a dozen 5 or 6 years ago to $70 a dozen, right? So, and we go through a lot of baseballs. So I just wanted to, you know, again, thank the city for everything. There's no, you know, and then if anything can be done to keep that, whatever that fee is going to be, cost minimal, that would be my goal with the league, to not have to incur any more of that as we continue to the years and try and keep it cheap for the kids. Because that's, in the end, that's everybody that's involved. I know I've talked with the city clerk and city manager, met with them with some of the higher projections. They all are, let's keep it good, keep it for the kids. That's what we're there for. That's the only thing we're there for. So that's all I have. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else for public comment? Okay, if nobody else, then we'll move on to 7 for approval of the minutes. The 7A, the City Commission meeting minutes of April 3rd, 2025. I have a motion to approve the city commission meeting minutes of April 3rd, 2025?
I'll make a motion.
Support.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. On to B, City Commission Budget Workshop Meeting Minutes of April 10th, 2025. Can I have a motion to approve the City Commission Budget Workshop Meeting Minutes of April 10th, 2025?
So moved.
Support.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Nice. The City Commission Budget Workshop Meeting Minutes of the closed session, April 10th, 2025. I have a motion to approve the City Commission Budget Workshop Closed Session Meeting Minutes of April 10th, 2025.
So moved.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? On to 8, consent agenda. We have 8A, the Marine City Area Fire Authority Run Report. B, the Departmental Monthly Activity Reports. C, the Dangerous Building Board of Appeals Meeting Minutes of January 8th, 2025. D, the CED Board Meeting Minutes of January 22nd, 2025. We have E, the Business License Application for TK Cuisine. And F, the Special Event Permit Application of the Marine City Garden Club Flower Sale. Can I have a motion to approve the consent agenda items A through F as presented?
I move to support, to approve the consent agenda items A through F as presented.
Support.
Can I have roll call, please?
Commissioner Hendrick.
Yes.
Commissioner Clausen.
Yes.
Commissioner May.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Brien.
Yes.
Commissioner Rourke.
Yes.
Mayor Vandembosch.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, on 9, items removed from the consent agenda, we have none. Financial business, we have A, expenditures including payroll of $646,466.46. I have a motion to approve those expenditures including payroll in that amount of $646,466.46.
Move we approve expenditures including payroll in the amount of $646,466.46.
Support.
From last week,
Oh,
wasn't it?
yes, it was. It's a lot of sixes and fours.
Oh, yeah, that's not supposed to work. And is there any discussion? Any roll call, please?
Commissioner Clausen.
Yes.
Commissioner May.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Brien.
Yes.
Commissioner Rourke.
Yes.
Mayor Vandembosch.
Yes.
Commissioner Hendrick.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, on to 10B, the preliminary financial statements. Can I have a motion to receive and file the preliminary financial statements of March 2025?
I'll make a motion.
Support.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? On to unfinished business on 11A. We have the ordinance 25-003, the amended fire protection code adoption, second reading, and then adoption. I have a motion to approve ordinance 25-003. That's the amendment for the fire prevention code adoption, and that's the second reading and the adoption.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance number 25-003, an ordinance of the City of Marine City, St. Clair County, Michigan, to amend ordinance 92.15 relating to fire prevention code adoption.
Support.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner May.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Brien.
Yes.
Commissioner Rourke.
Yes.
Mayor Vandembosch.
Yes.
Commissioner Hendrick.
Yes.
Commissioner Clausen.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, we're on to 12A, the public hearing. It's for the Clean Water Safe Revolving Fund wastewater treatment project. Notice is hereby given that the City Commission will conduct a hearing to receive public comments on that Clean Water State Revolving Fund wastewater treatment plant project. Please limit your comments to 5 minutes. The public hearing has been declared open at 7:28 p.m. Is there anybody who'd like to speak?
Anybody?
Okay, hearing and seeing none, and would like to speak? The public hearing will now be closed at 7:28. And now on to 13, new business. We have resolution 008-2025. That's a resolution adopting the final project plan for the wastewater system improvements and designating an authorized project representative.
I motion we adopt resolution 008-2025.
Support.
Any discussion?
I want to just throw out here that while this is yet another infrastructure project and there's, financial anxieties that come with something like this, this is an absolute essential service that we're providing our community. This building, its facilities have aged. For those that have been, our dozens of fans watching on YouTube will have noted that we've been doing regular repairs and emergency repairs to keep this thing functioning. It's really nice moving to a place where we're going to get ahead and keep this functional, where this won't be a very expensive crisis that we're spending more money on in too late of the game repair, and can do both preventative updates and maintain the equipment to safety standards.
I think the biggest thing is none of us want to have to pay extra, but we can't keep just kicking this down the road, unfortunately. It's going to come to a head sooner or later, so to speak.
And we don't know cost yet to the public entirely with this, the way it's going to work out. That's part of the materials we've had in the packet, but I just want to lay this part out too. We've been looking at and will continue to look at grants, to my understanding, to offset the costs.
Yep.
We've had obviously some success with this in the past. That's certainly the road we're going to go down if possible.
Right, we have no other discussion, we have roll call, please.
Commissioner O'Brien.
Yes.
Commissioner Rourke.
Yes.
Mayor Vandenbosch.
Yes.
Commissioner Hendrick.
Yes.
Commissioner Clausen.
Yes.
Commissioner May.
Yes.
Motion carried.
On to 13B, the St. Clair County Equalization Assessing Agreement. I have a motion to approve the St. Clair County Equalization Assessing Agreement as presented.
I'll make that motion.
Support.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioner Rourke.
Yes.
Mayor Vandenbosch.
Yes.
Commissioner Hendrick.
Yep.
Commissioner Clausen.
Yes.
Commissioner May.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Brien.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, on to 13C, the non-exclusive property lease 2025 for the Marine City Little League. Could I have a motion to approve the non-exclusive property lease of 2025 with the Marine City Little League as presented? Do you want to talk?
The only thing I'd offer, Mayor, is it would be my recommendation that we accept $1 as a lease agreement for the Little League to operate, to remunerate to the city.
Right, then,
$1 US, let me clarify. Not sure what the interest rate, the change rate is today.
Not one Bitcoin, just one.
then can I get that motion to approve the lease from the Marine City Little League as presented with the cost of $1?
I move we accept and approve the non-exclusive property lease agreement, Marine City Little League, in the amount of $1.
Support.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hendrick.
Yes.
Commissioner Clausen.
Yes.
Commissioner May.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Brien.
Yes.
Commissioner Rourke.
Yes.
Mayor Vandenbosch.
Yes.
Motion carried.
It was a
good?
pleasure working on the lease with the Little League. I think we did it last time, and they were very cooperative.
Great. And then move on to D for the updated personnel policies and procedures.
Thank you, Mayor. We've worked extensively on these policies. They've been out to the commissioners twice. There's probably a few touch-up items that still have to continue. I'm just asking you to take a broad look at them, approve them in their current process. Let me make some additional changes, grammar changes, there's some language changes. Even today that I've noticed, there's a couple other things that some commissioners have brought up to me previous to the meeting, and I'll be able to make those changes. It requires me to bring it back to you in its final form. So if you'd approve it in its draft form, I'll present it at a future meeting in its final form, and we can put this to bed.
Yeah, we'd like to get this one in place. It's the last of the series of policies that you wanted to be mandatory in your charter. The rest are done. This is the last one.
I have a few small items, but I'll send them to you in an email.
Yeah, that would work.
Just
Two comments on this, if I may. I really appreciate that we have, in the document that I got, track changes on, so I could kind of see the development and some of the discussion on it. That's helpful context in directions that it's going. There's one section that listed holidays, and there was a discussion on if Juneteenth should or shouldn't be included in there. I know that that's kind of an evolving date that isn't fully settled on every level. Some aspects of government are following it, some are not. I'd put it out there for consideration that it is a broad day that tends to include a lot more folks and could be a worthwhile inclusion. I'm not sure where it ended in the document. I thought it was crossed out in the latest, but maybe it wasn't.
Yeah,
It went back and forth a lot.
you're right, we have gone back and forth, and we brought it up in a committee of people working on that.
Great.
And they preferred to have another day other than Juneteenth. I think we inserted Veterans Day, if I recall correctly. I'll have to look at my notes in place of Juneteenth. I have no problem with adding it. Just remember that this piggybacks into the collective bargaining agreement, so that,
Sure.
although some employees get the day off, others get double time or triple time.
Okay.
So there's a financial implication there going forward when we add certain holidays. I'd rather achieve that at the bargaining table
Fair.
versus here. We're right in line with many other communities in terms of what we give for holidays. Generally around 12, it fluctuates here and there. And there's also floating holidays as well. The employees have floating holidays.
Okay, thank you for the explanation on it. And then I've asked you all to include elsewhere, and you've added this in, and it's very transparent and good in this document, a whistleblowing procedure.
Thought it was veterans.
And we get to the last section on this on page 62, or second to last, the reporting procedures. I just wanted to hold space here, and I don't know if it needs to be included in this document or if it's more appropriately a policy for us as a facing committee for us specifically. Reporting and whistleblowing policies are incredibly important. But if you have those, if you are looking at being able to take up complaints, considerations, and charges against any of your employees, you have to have a strong investigatory process that looks firmly at evidence, not claims, that interrogates that evidence for veracity. We cannot take action based on rumor or speculation. And I know some, issues are very hard to document. This is expected of employees, and if you don't follow any sort of charge to the absolute letter with that and get a thorough, tangible, evidentiary understanding, we risk violating a lot of our contractual agreements that we have with employees if you turn to disciplining them, right? That's important. That's one of the first steps in taking a process of this. In the labor world, one of the evolving things we're dealing a lot with is bullying from below, which it's kind of open season on all government workers right now, internal in a lot of different levels of government and external. And I think that we're in a place where we need to protect all of our employees from the top to the bottom and have a process that does not turn this commission body into political choosing a side of someone we like or don't like or align with politically, but it has to be evidentiary based.
One of the things that we went into great depth on was the whistleblowing policy. And very candidly, we mirror what state law requires in terms of policy. And we went into depth on that. We could reiterate the entire statute, but this attorney and our HR attorney felt that was not needed, that we have adequate whistleblower, matter of fact, more than adequate whistleblower protections there. We will post this information. I met with department heads today. We'll talk about it again once the policy goes out. All employees will be aware of it. We'll walk through this policy with employees and make sure that they're aware of it. I would agree with you. It's an important part of the process in any type of complaint that's filed. And I wouldn't disagree with anything you said, but I think our policy is strong in that area. I think it mirrors or exceeds other communities' policies or the county's policies for candidate, and it currently matches what state statute requires as well.
That part all makes me very happy. If possible, that we could get, pointed to either a memo or information on what is expected of the commissioners in that process to make sure that we know to go for evidence in a claim and not a rumor in a claim.
We could put something together for that. I would think that the city attorney would do that separately. In terms of if there was an incident, he would provide counsel to the commissioners in terms of what steps they should or should not take.
I don't think that needs to be in here, to be clear. I'm not looking for that to be in a new draft.
We'll put that in a separate thing for you.
I just want to make sure, this board obviously has had issues with employees in the past, both appropriately and inappropriately at times, and making sure we know how to operate is really integral to protecting.
Right. I'm very cognizant of that fact, and I'm making sure it's in there. One of the things we can't, unfortunately, go too depth is when people make complaints that aren't of an ardent nature or aren't, they're improper or wrong. You know, unfortunately, it doesn't go, my time's up, I'm sorry.
Apologize for that.
So I think we'll bend to the side of caution in terms of making sure we look at all those type of complaints.
And I'm glad you brought it up, because I've been asking for the same things.
Yep.
We've had the same discussion because of, I've been involved in some of those, and yes, we need a process that can be followed properly, yeah.
I'm happy to share some information on bullying from below. It's something I've been dealing with professionally in labor circles right now. And some writings and reading thoughts on that as well can be helpful.
Great. Madam Mayor, if I may too, we're required, excuse me, we're required by the Department of Labor and Law to post all of those posters. And we do have those, you know, employees' rights for whistleblower, excuse me, in our break room. So, I mean, it's listed out, resources and all that as well, so.
We'll be posting new posters up.
Yeah.
Those have been expired for a few years and haven't been taken care of, so.
Oh, that one is new.
Oh, it is new?
Oh, yeah,
Well, I know we
I
ordered
just
it, I
ordered
didn't
it,
think it
yeah.
was up.
Yes, I just ordered it.
So we just ordered and updated them as well.
Yeah, I just, and just to add one final point to this, I'm sorry I've taken so much time here, but this isn't just whistleblowing from our employees. It's also accusations against political figures and government workers external. That we can't jump at those shadows. We need a process of evidentiary investigation in those spaces, right? That's it. We're in just a different climate now.
All right, and nothing else, then can I get a motion to approve the policy and procedures as drafted?
So moved.
Support.
Thank you, roll call, please.
Commissioner Clausen,
Yes.
Commissioner May,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Brien,
Yes.
Commissioner Rourke,
Yes.
Mayor Vandebosch,
Yes.
Commissioner Hendrick.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, on to administrative reports. We have A, the city attorney report.
I'm good this evening, thank you very much. Little League, wish you well. Now, we're not going into this thing where they're poaching players, like who's a good player?
It's close.
Like NIL money? No?
We could get some, it's starting, right now it's just the young kids, but the young kids can bring, their own, their siblings.
It's absolutely sad to me. That's I'm sorry to hear that. Sorry about that, but that just doesn't seem right.
Hey, city manager.
I have nothing to report tonight. I sent a report to you earlier.
Thank you.
Very detailed report.
Yeah.
Thank you.
very
Always.
detailed.
Some bedtime reading.
All right, and reports from department heads, the city clerk.
Madam Mayor, I just have a few things. I wanted to follow up on the shred day that we had on Saturday, April 12th. I want to thank City Manager Reeves, Commissioners Hendrick and Rohrig, and Deputy Clerk Carol Brown for assisting that day. We took in approximately 5,500 pounds of paper to be shredded. Our shred company, Extreme Shreds, who shreds here on a monthly basis for us, brought an empty truck, and probably a quarter of the way through the event, we were full up to his window, which is, the window is about the halfway point of that truck. So 5,500 pounds, it was a good day. I wanted to thank Jeff, too. He is the owner of the shred company. He had brought some donations for the Easter egg extravaganza for Maritime Days. Him and his wife have made some baskets. And with that, we took in about 2.5 large moving boxes of donations. Candy, Easter eggs, baskets, just the full gambit of things. So I wanted to thank the community for not only doing some spring cleaning and recycling that paper in a proper way, but also donating to that good cause for the event this weekend. Next, I want to announce that just today at like 4 or 4:30, the city is now a My Bridges community partner, which is through the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services. We were notified today when we work with DHS for assistance with water payments and things like that. We normally reach out to a caseworker. When we reached out today, we got an automatic reply email that said the state is no longer handling individual caseloads. So people would have to request that assistance on their own. So with us becoming a community partner, We are allowing access through our lobby computer for individuals to access that if they do not have computer access to sign up for assistance through DHS. Michelle Goodrich, who does our utility billing, has told me that we're going to be a case study because her research today has showed we're the only municipality within like a 25-mile area that has signed up for this.
Wow.
She signed up for it this afternoon. We were approved for it this afternoon. So that's just another level of assistance that we can offer our residents who may need assistance with, whether it be water bills, gas bills, electric bills, anything like that. We're proud to offer that.
Me too.
Time's up.
Next, the sealed bids have been posted for the sale of the older phased-out equipment from the DPW. There are 3 vehicles on there that is available on our website under the public notices section, RFPs and bids. All the information is on there. There's a nice PDF packet with tons of pictures, information on how to send the sealed bids, and those are due May 27th at 4 p.m., I believe is the date, and they will be opened on May 28th in the city manager's office. We talked a little bit about the Little League field updates. City manager has kind of blessed DPW Super Aaron Atkinson and I as being the liaison with the Little League. We all had a meeting with them. It's a great meeting. They gave us a big, long wish list, and we're happy to kind of check away at it, one thing at a time as funding comes in for us and working with them together. As Alan mentioned, we got that outfield fence up. That was one of their big requests, and Aaron and I moved quick, getting quotes, meeting with people, and it's up before the season. It's a phased approach on how we're going to update those facilities there, but it's a work in progress, and we're happy we can work with the Little League and going forward as well. Last but not least, has nothing to do with elections, I promise. I wanted to announce that on Saturday, May 3rd, we are having an open house at the new Guy Community Center at 545 Ward Street, the former Lions Club. It is from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., and we did coordinate with the Little League as well. We didn't want to step on their toes because that is also their opening day, and they'll have their ceremonies. The Little League is graciously donating us hot dogs that we're going to cook and hand out to visitors at our open house and attending the Little League opening day and maybe catching some Little League games. Multiple departments will be on site for Q&As. We're going to show people the improvements we've made to the building. We're going to have boards and charts of future plans for that building and exciting things to come. So we've invited the chamber as well. I believe they're going to do a ribbon cutting that day to dedicate that building, and then they're going to be there to answer some questions as well. So come on out to that, get some free hot dogs, say hi to city workers, see some fire trucks, DPW trucks, police cars, all that good stuff.
Very nice.
That is all I have.
That's awesome. All right, thank you. Okay, and then we'll move on to commissioner privilege and liaison reports, and we'll start with Commissioner Clausen.
Don't have much. I just want to announce that the Rotary Club is having their annual flower sale Mother's Day weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's next to the library at the old Ward Cottrell School. And everybody have a good holiday, and watch out the kids when they're doing these egg hunts. We just had one at the library. They don't watch when they're running. They don't care where they're running. So watch out for them. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner O'Brien.
Well, firstly, I apologize to the commission, our city staff, and to the public for being late tonight. Thanks for not making too big of a deal out of it. Happy to finally have made it in. Secondly, I want to continue to recognize the work our city is doing right now. I've seen more questions come out online, at least, about, like our roads are still torn up and this is going to be a long-going process. And as a community, we're in for a long haul. This, the Safe Water Drinking Project isn't going to be resolved overnight. It's a very long and kind of an endurance marathon of a project here for our community. And so thank you for sticking with us on it. Again, as you have questions about your roads or the streets or the project, please see our city offices. We're happy to talk about that. Finally, I want to talk a little bit. We have the luxury of a board and in a community here of talking local issues. And being a small rural community, often we're far away from some of the bigger things. But we don't exist on an island or in a bubble. state and national affairs certainly affect us. And there's growing concerns and challenges that are very real around incidents involving individuals like Abrego Garcia, Ramesa Ozturk, students that are having, challenges legally right now and things. There's a lot of individuals that want to get involved in politics in some way or the other and have their voice heard. While a lot of those avenues involve whether demonstrating or contacting your Congress representatives, both state and federal, our podium is open. And this is also a space to be heard in uncertain times and changing times. And this is a body that needs to be moved in numerous different ways. So much of this is far outside of our hands, but there's aspects that do involve us and connect with us here in the local and in the neighboring communities. So please, I encourage people who are concerned or having strong processes going on, that podium is there and it's there for you. That's all for me tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner May?
I have nothing.
Okay. Commissioner Roy?
I'd just like to say that we didn't have a library board meeting this quarter. We didn't have anything on the agenda. And have a happy and safe Easter holiday. Thanks. That's it.
Commissioner Hendrick?
Okay. We had a fire authority meeting last night. We did take delivery of a new mini pumper. I think that'll be at the new, at the open house there, so everybody will be able to look at it. He's finally buying some new hoses that are like over 20 years old, so we're finally getting some of those. We've got 4 new people that joined. We're losing 2, but we're gaining 4. And the budget got approved, and so that's all moving forward. I want to thank the city for Shred Day. It was a lot of fun, and people got rid of a lot of stuff, so that was really good. And as far as the water project, please, I see a lot of posts on Facebook, and I try to pass them along to our city manager. But if you have questions on it, there is a process. Please try to call, if it's during the day, please call the DPW office or the city staff's office. Please ask the questions there instead of trying to wait on Facebook for something to materialize or one of us to see it. I mean, I try to look at it, but I'm not on there all day. But the ones I do, I send them right to Mike, and they respond very well. But putting it on Facebook and just asking why I have a stick in my yard, the stick's there for a reason, and we want to keep those sticks there. But call the city; they'll be happy to explain anything to you on what's going on with the project. I know I'm going through it. It's in front of my house. I mean, the thing is pounding away out there, and they're putting in stuff, and you have to move your car and be, a little diligent about that, but it's all for a good thing. I mean, it's something that really, really has to be done. It's going to fix all the streets eventually, so it's a little bit of pain, but it's a good process, and we'll get there. But please, any questions, if your water is not on or anything, contact the city. Ask them. They'll be happy to get you some answers of what's going on, or send somebody down if that's the case. But I just beg people to try to call the offices instead of posting. And happy Easter, and that's it. I'm done.
Several things I was going to mention has already been talked about, so I'll save us some time on that. But I would like to also extend another thank you to Mr. Moore for the Marine City Task Team. That's great, and I think that's going to help people in our community a lot with things that they need to get taken care of. And I'm also willing to help, so if I can ever help, please let me know as well. And with that, and I wish everybody a happy Easter. And can I get a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.